So today I thought it was about time for another classic hunt, and I was sitting here thinking it's September 8th, we're just about 3 weeks away from the archery opener here in PA, and I kind of just wanted to go for a little whitetail bow hunt. And I mean, the other side of it is that probably my dream animal in classic, more than a rare bison or anything that I've really grinded for, is a 200 scoring whitetail, and they're just incredibly rare, but the only way I'm ever going to get one is to really put time in and see if we can get one. So I'm thinking about maybe like really trying to do more just specifically whitetail videos in classic, because of all the things in the game that I haven't yet gotten, I think that's the one I want the absolute most. So we may start doing this a little bit more. I want to see what you guys think about it, so let me know in the comments if you're interested in seeing like a lot of whitetail hunts. We could definitely switch up the maps and stuff. But yeah, I definitely wanted to try that out, and luckily we did have a whitetail buck grunt, so we'll get in the stand here and bring him in. And of course he's coming in behind the tree, so we can't really get a shot right away, but he's just a little one. I did actually enter a competition because for some reason there wasn't a very high score on this one. It's essentially just the heaviest whitetail shot from a tree stand, ground blind, or like any sort of stand you can actually use, and this guy's not up to max weight, so he couldn't actually get us top 3. But it's almost always just 99 kilos for first place, and currently I think it's sitting at 96, so that's one we could potentially actually place in. And I'm hoping we can maybe do that, so I will spend probably a little more time in tree stands today than normal. But a lot of times I shoot something like this and then get out and start walking away and spook another deer, so I don't think it's a bad thing to sit around a bit longer. This one I think I would have been okay if we actually did spook, but I did actually just hear another grunt, so definitely kind of worth hanging around a bit. Hopefully it's going to be a bit more interesting than this guy, but if he would kind of stop, I don't want him to get under the stand. I think we're just going to take him there because I don't want him to end up getting in a weird spot and potentially spooking him. Because where this other guy grunted from, I'm really not sure how he's going to get over here. So we may get out of the stand and at least see if we can spot him. Because I'm not sure, unless he walks all the way across, like I don't know that you can cross that water. So the good news is, he got across the water just fine. The bad news is he's another pretty small one. Actually, the first one somehow ended up being the best of the 3. But the good news is, if there are any big bucks out here, at least we have 3 down that aren't going to be grunting and taking our time later. So it's good to kind of get them out of the way at the beginning. And, I mean, we're not like spooking them and having them run towards others either and potentially spook another deer that we haven't seen. Definitely not very interesting bucks to start out with though. But I think probably I want to go down this way, just because of the competition that we're in for like the heaviest whitetail. I want to be moving like towards stands and blinds and stuff all the time, so I think that'll be best. Well, that might be an issue. I try to get around her. Unless she's just gonna bluff charge us, we're gonna probably have to take her. Yeah, well, has to happen. I think that did spook the tiny little bull that was up there, but I mean, kind of got away with it just using the bow, and unless there was anything else super close, shouldn't really spooked anything else. Looks like we're going to be kind of continuing our trend of shooting just absolutely tiny whitetail. But I mean, the good news is, the spot that we're at, there's really no chance of getting into a tree stand or ground blind or anything, so if this guy was really big or even just really heavy, we wouldn't be able to use him for the competition. But we'll get him out of the way, and I wanted to move up towards this tree stand, so if we didn't get him, he would have kind of spooked in that direction and potentially spooked things that we're actually after. And man, 57, so that's 2 bucks in the 50s. I think one, I didn't even look at the score, but like 80 or something. And then one over 100. We're definitely not looking at a bunch of huge ones, but I guess we only need one. I guess this is just gonna happen. I have not done a single call for moose this entire hunt, but if he just wants to walk through here, guess we'll try to get him. Honestly, didn't think that would be a hard shot. I haven't seen anything from this tree stand, but there is actually a little buck sleeping out here somewhere. I saw him on my way in, and I was kind of hoping he would just wake up and get over here because I don't want to have to track him later. But I haven't seen him, so I guess he's still sleeping. I don't actually think this one's him. Like, I couldn't really tell because it was sleeping, but I thought the one that I was looking at had more tines like up front. And that doe following him in might be a bit of an issue because he doesn't want to stop. Probably just try to put a shot down through his head. I guess she's not going to spook, so we'll try to get her too. And, I mean, unless that was the same one, there's still no sign of it, so let's try to get her before she gets under us. That's actually a good place to stop or not. There we go. Alright, so we'll still call for a little bit and see if he's around. But I'm starting to wonder if maybe that was him. I think I'm at least convinced that if it wasn't the same one, the one that was there is just going to be sleeping for a while, so we'll just try to get this, just to keep stuff from spooking. And I think I want to go down to that tower that kind of we start at a lot of the times if we start at the South Lodge. So we'll get all this stuff claimed and kind of look on the map, but the only really interesting thing here would be if this guy somehow increases our competition score, which I think he actually might. Yeah, I don't remember what the first one was, 83 or 84. And then I guess this is like a decent moose, but nothing too special, 121. And then the other doe, which I think we actually kind of messed up on. I mean, spine one's an instant drop, and lung liver probably would have been as well. But it's actually showing body blood instead of lung, which sort of surprises me. But yeah, I want to go down to this spot, and then we might consider fast traveling, because we've been able to for a while and just haven't done so. But I want to make sure we cover as much ground as we can and don't just kind of hop around. That's going to be a tough one. Like, if he actually is big, getting to a tower or anything is going to be really difficult, but just because he's on the edge of our render, we'll go take a look, and if he is actually a good one, maybe we'll try to, like, call him back to this stand or something. Ooh, he does look good, too. Need to get prone here. Does he have enough tines? I'm not sure. He's 160 to 185, and he's not up to max weight. So the good thing is we can stay here. I mean, that might be a 180. If his estimate was higher, I could definitely buy him being even mid-180s, so I don't know if it's that he has short tines that's kind of keeping him back. But I'm happy to see only up to 95, because I really don't want to have to try to crawl backwards and get him in close to a stand. But he actually stopped there. Hopefully he doesn't see us for a second. Now he does. But it's going to be a little bit too late, so first actual good buck. And you gotta figure it's gonna happen eventually when everyone you see is just absolutely tiny. Man, 166. I thought he was so much bigger. How's he only 166? I mean, he's an 8x8. He's got a big spread, and I mean, he doesn't have super long tines, but everything's pretty even. I'm really not sure about that. It has to be just hind length, because he is very short. And there are some deductions, for sure. I thought at least mid-170s was pretty well guaranteed, though. I mean, good looking picture. And I definitely want to go through and see his subtotal and see, like, what his, I don't know, deductions were, because I'm still absolutely shocked by that. I thought he was a good bit bigger. Sadly, it's looking kind of dead over here, so I guess we'll try to get this doe. And we'll sit here for a minute just to make sure we're not calling something that we can't see. But not much happening in this area right now. So there was actually a little buck kind of sneaking in behind us, and he never called. So kind of the point of standing around a little while. And of course he's not high enough weight or score to really worry about him, but we'll get him out of the way. And that's one less potential grunt to be hearing later. Still, I guess, some deer that we haven't seen, but we might kind of hop out of the stand and see if we can get around her. Or actually, I had planned on fast traveling, and I want to go probably all the way up here. So we may just do that and then work our way kind of back down, because I don't want to miss what's in between here and there. But I do want to try to get closer to a tree stand and stuff, and then just in general, be in a different area for a little while. I'm really not too sure how we got liver, stomach, intestine on that, but it dropped him, so saved us a little tracking. And I see that doe coming in. She's definitely common. And unless there's anything like sneaking in behind her and we can't even see her actually through the reeds, I think we'll just go ahead and fast travel up there and see if anything's more interesting that way. Although I forgot to equip the camping supplies I bought, so I'll just run back to the lodge and then do that. That's definitely what I wanted to hear, and I can see he's got decent antlers on him, actually. I don't know if he's huge, but that looks good. 170 to 195. He's got much taller tines. I think he's a 7x7, and that's really going to hurt. But what was his weight? I actually wasn't even looking at that. I was too worried about how big he was. Again, only up to 195, so or up to 95, so there's not much point in trying to get into that tower. We might as well stay here, and if he can cross the water here, like maybe if there's another buck over on the other side, we can get him too and not actually spook him by going to that tower. So that one I'm excited about. If he was an 8x8, I'd be really excited though. I mean, I don't want to start making predictions again because I was so far off on the other one, but I do think if he was an 8x8, he'd be something maybe better than I have in any of my trophy lodges, like, since they came out. But I think we're going to actually get ready to take the shot here because he's just walked straight in, which is actually quite nice because a lot of times they're just really, really slow. Try to line that up. Can't get centered. Just went for it before he spooked and ended up probably single lung, and if we're lucky, liver, and it'll bring him down a little bit quicker. But just could not for the life of me get that centered in the chest. I mean, he does look really nice, and he made it impressively far on a lung shot. Again, not that high weight, but 178. I mean, if he had those two more tines, minimum we're looking at like closer to 185. That's a really nice buck, but kind of hurting that he didn't have the full frame. I'm actually pretty happy with this trophy shot. It turned out quite nice, but I was sitting here thinking as I was lining it up, we got one with the right tine length but not a full frame, and one with the full frame but not the right tine length, so go figure. But I guess if this is the first of many whitetail hunts where we're trying to get a 200, that's just gonna happen. Man, again, we're gonna have this. If we can even get shot off in time. Jeez. Okay. We're on our way back down to the last place I want to go to, but guess that had to happen first. So it wasn't really my plan, but we ended up back in this tower, and we actually have two different bucks coming in. There's this guy, which is actually another pretty heavy one, but not quite heavy enough to potentially win that comp, up to 95. And one just grunted somewhere back this general direction behind the doe, so maybe one last chance at actually placing in that comp or getting a real trophy whitetail. But we'll try to get this guy down so he's not going to cause any issues. And hopefully, this other one's going to be a little more impressive. Well, unfortunately, he's neither of the things we could potentially hope for, but I kind of think we might just take him with a 30-06. Just because that doe's there, I kind of expect her to get here anyway. And I have this one 30-06 round that I kind of just need to get rid of, so I think we'll do that. And that will just about wrap up our whitetail hunt. And I really can't complain. I mean, we got two good ones. I really do want to go see that subtotal for the 166, because I still think, even with the short tines, he should have been mid-170s with the spread and everything. And, I mean, to get two that are good in a 2.5 hour hunt is definitely not a bad deal. And actually, go figure, even though he didn't get us anywhere near top 3, that last one actually was a little bit heavier and got us higher in the comp. That's an interesting shot. Heart, liver, stomach, and 121 score. So, not the way I was hoping to end, but, I mean, like I said, we got two good ones, so I really can't complain about not ending on a really good one. But, yeah, like I said, let me know in the comments if you guys are interested in seeing more whitetail hunts. I mean, we'd spread it out through, like, White Heart and Settlers Creek and Loggers Point and everything, and just kind of spend a couple hours each week trying to get a 200. Like, we're not going to get one unless we put in some hours, so I want to know what you guys think about that. But anyway, that is going to do it for this video, so thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you next time.